You're a monster.
Do not call me that.
I recognize so much the ache to connect and the ache to be loved, thickly masked by sarcasm, causing chaos and mayhem.
She's smart, kind, and quite sophisticated.
They have thousands of pieces of societal evidence that they're going to be seen as monsters, judged, persecuted, rejected.
Yeah.
And all it took for her was just for Ballister to change from seeing her as a monster to seeing her as human and beautiful.
Go back to the shadows from whence you came.
People turn to chaos and aggression and even violence when they feel like they've run out of options. We judge as monsters instead of recognizing how did they get there in the first place. They may not be able to change society, but that doesn't mean individual hearts can't be changed and they can't create a family.
I see you, Nimona. And you're not alone.
Hello and welcome to Cinema Therapy. My name's Alan Seawright. I'm a professional filmmaker who needs therapy.
And I'm Jonathan Decker, licensed therapist who loves movies. What's up, bro? What we doing?
Let's react to a movie.
All right.
You're the therapist, so you're gonna do the reacting, and it's Nimona.
Nimona was so much fun!
Nimona was way better than I had any hopes that it would be.
We had so many requests for this.
Yeah, and you're all right.
Yep.
So take that to the bank. Every opinion you've ever had, correct.
Wow, okay. We're maybe atoning for a few things with that overreach statement, but that's okay. So, what do you want me to be looking for?
Man, we're just gonna do a full psychological evaluation on this. I want you to tell me what you see.
A cinematic ink blot. I love it. Let's do it. The animation's so cool
Plus,
looking.
I drew up some plans for
It is
revenge,
really,
torment,
really
and
fun.
Good old general malfeasance.
These are my plans for revenge and torment and malfeasance. Gosh.
Rhinoceros.
You look freaked. You promised you'd hold it together.
The camera moved around him because he's changing his perspective on her. Did you get that? Anyway, filmmaking.
Remember?
You're a
What? Marsupial? Mariachi? Meatball?
You're a monster.
Do not call me that.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack here, but the main thing that bothered me in this shot is those tacos are just copy-paste.
You know, but you don't do the shifting shape thing. And you're a girl who can turn into...
No, maybe Ballister's just that
He's
meticulous.
super meticulous. The lettuce leaf must be like
that's
this.
That's not an answer. The people don't just turn into things.
I do.
Okay, fine. Well, then I have a million questions.
You get one.
Why are you helping me?
Because I'm bored. And everybody hates you too.
Oh.
That's the most punk rock teenager answer ever.
Hang on. If Ballister has strong enough OCPD, he might
To copy-paste his tacos.
he might create such meticulously crafted tacos that they look absolutely identical down to the shreds of lettuce.
Every movie, no matter what the budget is, you're always looking to save a couple of bucks.
Yeah.
And that being said, this movie does not in any way feel cheap
Skimp, yeah.
or scrimped. There are little clues here and there that I can pick up where I'm like, oh, this is not a $200 million Pixar movie.
Yeah.
But it's great. Like, the design of everything is great, and the animation style is so much fun. There's so much pop to the
Yeah.
movements. It's
First of all, the names in this movie, Ballister Boldheart and
Ambrosius Golden Loin.
Honestly, if I had a career as an adult film star, that would be my name.
Can you back it up, though?
Listen, that's just for the patrons. Sign up for our Patreon and
Don't.
find out.
There's none of that content there. Ugh.
So story breadcrumbs here, planting the seed for later on. We're going to reveal her backstory and what's really going on.
Yeah.
But how strongly she reacts to the word monster.
Right.
And in real life, when you have a strong reaction or somebody else has a strong reaction to something, very often there's a trigger there. There's a history there. And so this is a great example of not subtle, but effective.
The question that he asks her takes her off guard. She's used to being attacked, but she's not used to being probed, I guess?
Yeah. If he had said, "What is wrong with you?" she's heard that so many times.
A million times.
She's got a sarcastic retort up and ready, right? But to say, "Why are you helping me?" she pauses. She eats her taco from the top, which is a bold choice.
Wrong, but bold.
But I think it's actually character driven that she's not going to play by the rules of society, even when it comes to eating a damn taco. I also like when he says, "Why are you helping me?" She says, "Because I'm bored," which is just how she approaches life. Like, she doesn't reveal her true feelings.
Right.
She's got the mask up, she's got the guard up. But because he is being vulnerable and real with her, she decides to take a step back and says, "Because everyone hates you too." And so she relates to him and finds in him a kindred spirit, which terrifies him to no end.
Yes, as it should.
Getting into debt? That's easy.
But getting out of debt? Less.
You know, the system is set up so we don't get out of debt easily.
I did know that, but PDS Debt might be able to help you with it.
They have customized options for anyone struggling with credit cards, personal loans, collections, or medical bills.
They also offer a free debt analysis that only takes 30 seconds.
Head over to pdsdebt.com/cinema to get your free debt assessment today.
Could help me pay off that one movie I made that didn't make any money, or that other movie I made that didn't make any money.
Or it could have helped me pay off my student loans when I was fresh out of school.
PDS Debt works to understand your specific scenario, so they can help provide alternative solutions to becoming debt-free.
So you can save more and pay off your debt in a fraction of the time.
Anyone with $10,000 or more in eligible debt qualifies.
And there's no minimum credit score required.
So stop waiting and start saving. Get a free debt analysis right now at pdsdebt.com/cinema.
It only takes 30 seconds. That's pdsdebt.com/cinema.
pdsdebt.com/cinema. We've said it 3 times. If you can't figure it out, that's on you.
So she's a shapeshifter, and he's on the run for a murder he didn't commit. It's like if Mystique were hanging out with Richard Kimball.
You've been staring.
She doesn't know how to eat food. She eats tacos from the top, and she puts an entire pizza slice in her mouth and then spits it
For a
out.
second.
Normal?
I just think it'd be easier if you were a girl.
Easier to be a girl? You're hilarious.
I mean, easier if you looked human.
Easier for who?
For you. A lot of people aren't as accepting as me. How did you get like this?
What, you mean awesome?
No, how do you... I'm just trying to understand what I'm working with here.
I'm Nimona.
That explains literally nothing.
No, you're right. You deserve a better explanation than that. I was just a kid. Cute, little, innocent me. I was playing in the woods, following the birds.
Such a
fly,
fun bit of animation to have it be
swimming in
the
tear
On the
fountain.
subway
the
walls.
mosaic on the
looks
subway
so-
walls with like graffitis going past and stuff. I love it.
I was alone. That's when I heard it. A song calling me, leading me to a wishing well.
A wishing well? Wait, how did you know it wasn't just a regular well?
Do you want to tell my story for me?
Why?
As I slowly approached the well, a coin appeared in the palm of my hand as if by magic, and I knew what I had to do. I summoned my courage, held the coin tight, threw it into the well, and made a wish. A wish to one day be trapped on a subway with an uptight knight asking me small-minded questions.
Do you still have that pizza?
One of the things that I love about this movie, there's so much comedy in it, and so much of the comedy is just exquisite timing-based comedy.
Yeah.
Like, that's funny. Like, the line that she delivers is funny.
Yeah.
And then it gets funnier because of the pause. And then the pause continues for long enough that you get a second laugh
Yeah, it just
out
keeps
of
going.
the pause. Like, it just, like, it's funny still.
But it's also a nice little bit of character-based stuff where he's starting to be playful with her.
Yep.
And he's like, okay, this is how I connect with Nimona.
Yeah.
For 6 years, I worked with at-risk teenagers. In fact, when you and I met, I was right in the middle
Yeah,
of
you were
that.
working night shifts.
Yeah, at a group home, a residential treatment center for at-risk teenage girls. A lot of them had been through trauma. And Nimona reminds me of any number of those girls who
Sure.
I came to love like little sisters.
Yeah.
And I recognize so much the ache to connect and the ache to be loved and the ache to belong, thickly masked by sarcasm, by causing chaos and mayhem. This plays a little bit like the Joker telling his Scar story in the sense of when I'm watching this, once she caps it off with a joke, I thought, oh, the whole thing was a ruse just to lead him on. And then you realize towards the end, oh no, like the first 2/3 of that story is the beginning of her story.
Yep.
She's taking a step into vulnerability and she's going to see what he does with it. And this is the thing when you're trying to connect with, love, support, and help people who've been through a trauma, is you're not going to have your all-at-once full house moment where all the cards are on the table and the healing happens with them.
What?
Like, it's going to be 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 1 step forward, 4 steps back. It's going to be...
It's a grind.
Yeah, little steps, little steps.
The allegory here is, wouldn't it be easier for you to just pass?
Just fit in.
Right? Whatever your thing is that's like different, wouldn't it be easier for you to just like, just suppress that a little bit and just fit in? And that's, I mean, it's a cause of a lot of pain and frankly trauma for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Is like having to conform.
I feel worse when I don't do it.
To be told that who you are doesn't belong.
Yeah.
This actually needs to be his inroad with Nimona of, we're both outcasts, we're both rejected, we both have value, we both have worth as we are.
Yeah.
And it's the other people who don't see it that's the problem. And in fact, that is exactly what happens.
Look, I don't know why she framed me, but the Institute's not the problem. The director is. That's why I'm taking this to Ambrosius.
Who
Ambrosius.
cares? This is the man who cut off
Holy
your
Grace
arm.
Morenz is so good in this.
Arm-chopping is not a love language.
Cut off my arm. He disarmed a weapon. It's how we were trained.
Wow. They brainwashed you good. You think this stops with the director? You should be questioning everything right now. The will of Gloria, the Institute, the wall. What's it all really for?
For protecting the realm.
Oh, you mean from villains like you?
Oof.
Or monsters? Like me?
So some deep psychological stuff going on right now. First of all, I was joking over one of the best lines, which is that violence is not a love language.
Arm-chopping is not a love language!
Okay, well, that's more specific, but even more broadly, violence is not a love language. Like, you know what? Tell that to the Skywalker family. Just the notion that the reason we have institutions and traditions and structure and society, it's there for our safety, it's there for us to thrive and flourish, and then how quickly we become so reliant on them that we refuse to question them. We're so reliant on them for our safety and our well-being that it terrifies us to no end that they could be utterly corrupt, or that they could be not what they used to be or what they were intended to be.
Right.
I know I feel this way a lot as an American, not to get like super political, but just like what was laid out in the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence and whatever the hell we've been doing for how long, you know, like
For 250 years.
yeah. But that's the thing, like I 100% believe in those founding principles, but just the notion of like, we have to be able to question, we have to be able to push, we have to be able to refine, we have to be able to call out. And if we're not, then good people get thrown under the bus, which is what happened here. In support of the system,
Right.
the system that provides the sense of safety, we're going to persecute whoever we need to, cast aside whoever we need to, let them be the scapegoat so we can keep trucking along. That is terrifying and super heady for a PG family film. And I love it.
Mm-hmm. Hey, like, subscribe. You can comment below if you want to drive the algorithm, which is all of our overlords.
And click the bell so you don't miss an episode, because we're really tired of reading your comments asking if we did an episode that we did a year ago.
We hate you.
Yes, die in a fire.
Metal.
You okay?
I don't want to talk about it.
I know something's wrong.
I said I don't want to talk about it.
Hey, I'm just trying to help.
I don't need your help! Did you see the way that little girl looked at me? Kids. Little kids. They grow up believing that they can be a hero if they drive a sword into the heart of anything different. And I'm the monster?
The monster was people all
I don't know
along.
what's scarier. The fact that everyone in this kingdom wants to run a sword through my heart. Or that sometimes I just want to let them.
We have to get you out of here. We'll go over the wall. We won't stop until we find someplace safe. Okay? We'll go. Together.
Together?
Listen, you were right about everything. The Institute, the wall. Ambrosius. No matter what we do, we can't change the way people see us.
You changed the way you see me. Didn't you?
So weird that
We can't let the director get away with this. We shouldn't have to run.
Yeah.
she's giving
And you
him
made a
hope
deal,
for change.
right? We clear your name, you make me your sidekick. And you can't back out on a deal because you believe in truth and honor and blah, 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 all that stupid stuff.
Truth and honor aren't stupid, but
So, you got a plan?
of course I got a plan. Something, something, something.
We win.
Man, there's a whole lot to unpack there, including a massive character turn right in the middle of a scene that shouldn't feel earned, but actually works, I think. One thing I just wanted to point out that's really fun. I don't know if you picked up on this. Did you see the highlights? The little sparkles in the character's eyes are all different shapes. Ballister's is a square,
Okay.
of course.
Because he's a square?
'Cause he's a square.
he's so morally upright all the time, yeah.
It actually changes in a couple of different scenes when he's feeling rebellious. It's not a square anymore.
Oh, really? No, I'd never seen that.
Yeah, everybody has different shapes of their highlights, which is really, really fun. Trigger warning, we're going to be talking about, well, we can't use the word that we need to use, unaliving ideation. If that makes you uncomfortable, that's fine. We have other videos that you can watch. Some of them are up here.
But oftentimes, if you relate, then this journey is powerful and healing for you as well. So
It can be.
Use your own judgment on that.
Yeah. Kind of a hard turn from basically wanting that to, hey, you were able to change your mind. Now I have hope. Now let's go kick the director's ass. Right?
Well, this comes down to solutions-focused therapy, which is one of my favorite techniques, hones in on the exceptions. And you can have 100 examples of one thing, and if you have one or two exceptions, it's enough to say, okay, there's something here we can work with.
Right.
They have thousands of pieces of societal evidence that they're going to be seen as monsters, judged, persecuted, rejected.
Yeah.
And all it took for her was just for Ballister to change from seeing her as a monster to seeing her as human and beautiful and defending her even as she's making people piss themselves. And that's enough for her to latch hold of, and that's all that she wants. So you talk about the comedic timing and how long they hold the pauses. This film does that equally well dramatically.
For sure. Yeah.
She comes in, she flips the couch over, she's highly emotional, and then it just holds as she calms down enough to just speak what's going on. It's not
and it
boring.
has the discipline to not come around on her face.
Yeah, it
It
just
just
holds.
sits on her back.
Yeah, this film has such fantastic, wild, manic energy for so much of its runtime. And you gotta know when to do that and when to hold back.
Yeah.
And really let something land. And timing is an art. It's incredible. I love this. I find it's through radical acceptance, if you've seen our Frodo episode, the notion of
There's always hope.
there's always hope, but it may not be the hope that you were hoping for. You know, it may not be what you were expecting or really wanting, but there's always a way of finding, okay, how can I make peace with what is and spend my energy on what I can focus on?
Right.
They may not be able to change society, but that doesn't mean individual hearts can't be changed and they can't find a family or create a family.
Sure.
And that's enough, right? That's what's powerful. So
Go back to the shadows from whence you came.
Flashback,
Little baby Glorith.
1,000 years ago or whatever it was. And young Nimona, rejected by her best friend because her best friend's family and taught her to be scared. Scared of what's different.
There is no place for you.
Don't lie to me. You wish you would know.
Go back to the shadows from whence you came.
Something really wrong with you. What are you? You know what you are.
People turn to chaos and aggression and even violence when they feel like they've run out of options. And I say this not to condone or excuse aggression or chaos or violence. I say this because we judge as monsters people who come with that energy instead of recognizing how did they get there in the first place?
Yeah.
Are we complicit in that? Or are we complicit in maintaining that? You know, Ballister's not complicit in Nimona being an agent of chaos. He wasn't even there. But he has the power to change it through love and through compassion and through understanding and making space for justice for her. And that is something for all of us to consider, that we can't just point fingers and say, well, the way you're doing this is wrong and destructive. Okay, what are you doing to give people the floor?
Other options.
Yeah,
right?
to give them other options, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't mind soapboxing that. Not even a little bit.
Okay, trigger warning again.
But remembering what Nimona said earlier, so much anguish. I don't know what's scarier, that people want to stab me through the heart or I want to let them.
The sound design on that giant kaiju scream, there's clearly like Chloe Grace Moretz in there, but also like huge stuff.
So much pain.
And that image is such a big, powerful, like his pose and then making him teeny tiny and she's giant.
Yeah. Lay down the arms.
Freaking talented artists worked on this movie.
Reminds me of like end of season 6 of Buffy, Dark Willow, and Xander. Like she just needed someone to love her through it.
Yeah.
And I love that it's his robotic hand that he's consoling her with. Like,
Sorry.
Yeah.
our broken parts are all lovable.
Sorry. I see you, Nimona. And you're not alone.
So this is why, from a psychological perspective, I love that on-the-nose writing, because people need it direct and unmistakable.
Yeah.
I see you, and you're not alone. And I'm sorry.
Especially in moments of crisis like that.
Hot damn. Oh,
That's a good movie.
got him.
Well, of course got him. What? Was there a question? Was there a doubt that this was going to happen? You saw the movie. Man.
Seriously, such a beautiful story. And such a chaotic, punk rock, hilarious...
Man, the tonal disparity in this movie from I made a knight pee his armor to that
Yeah.
couldn't be broader, and it just nails all of it. And that's just a really, really talented crew working for a very, very smart, talented director who knows how to make those tonal shifts without making them feel like you're watching two different movies.
Yeah. We are going to keep creating.
Yeah.
We're going to keep expressing our unique individuality as well as our universal human experience.
I really wish that Netflix had released it in movie theaters so I could have gone and seen it with a big crowd.
Yeah.
But it was still amazing. It was great to watch at home with my kids. We were able to have really powerful conversations about the themes that are talked about in this movie, some of which are really heavy.
Yeah.
But they're presented in a way that is, I hate to say palatable. It's a way to broach this topic that's a heavy but very important topic with examples in a way that it's important. Stories are important. They help us to be better people for ourselves and to each other.
Yeah. And platforms may change and styles may change.
They always do.
But the fact is, like, this is such a unique flavor. This movie is unlike anything I've ever seen. Like, yes, it pulls in elements from other things, but it also creates something wholly original. And yet, the emotional core is so relatable.
Yeah.
We need healing stories. We need connecting stories. We need stories that expand our vision and our understanding of one another's experience. We need stories that make us feel and then help us to bring that into our real lives. That is a human need. We've had plays, we've had songs, we've had stories around in book form, but also like way back, like around the fire.
Around the fire in the cave.
Right? Like we have always needed this. We have always done this, and we will continue to do this, and I love being present for that evolution. And Nimona, for me, represents a major milestone in that evolution, even if people are still waking up to it.
It's a step forward, for sure.
Yeah.
So until next time.
To be your sidekick, you know? To help get revenge on the cold, cruel world that rejected you.
Did you just feel that? Felt like the whole place just kind of went like... whoop, 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 whoop.
And watch movies! Special shout out to our patrons, folks who enjoy extended director's cuts, a lot of exclusive behind the scenes, deep dives, and a bunch of other stuff. Folks like
Ingrid Carlin,
Bradshaw,
Dwani Gray,
Katie Cook, I'm getting all the easy names.
Gustav Appelquist.
Ooh, okay, that one sounds like he belongs in the Nimona universe.
And he's either a fruit vendor or he's going on an apple quest.
Ooh, nice. I would play a game called Apple
I would play a
Quest.
game called Apple Quest. I'd
Yeah.
play the hell out of that game.